Okay, we're having a fall evening here tonight. As we saw, we did an evening star signal in the Dow today, which would not be unusual to see it come back and test the T-line. But at the same time, we saw that the NASDAQ opened lower and closed up. So even though if you just looked at the raw numbers, the NASDAQ was only up 6 points. What could you see was going on all day long? After the open, the buying had come in. The S&P 500, not a sell signal, just more than likely some profit taking. And they did a doji type day right back on the T-line. So, no, Steve, what is a kicker signal? So So the fact that we saw crude oil breaking out, that gave us a bunch of stocks that had some good patterns to them. Take a look at some of the other things before we go into the stocks. Gold, things like Nugget have been acting a little bit better, even in the face of gold just moving absolutely sideways. So, and I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Soybeans are always fun to watch with all the rhetoric about the tariffs. It's bounced up a little bit. All right, so I often get a lot of people asking if you can see something set up, why don't you buy with the anticipation that something that is going to have something confirming, so that you're not paying up for it. This is a PPDF was a perfect example of why you want to see confirmation. Had a great setup, then opens down here. That tells you you don't want to have your money stuck there. Our other recommendation today was Lithium Motors. Again, really didn't do anything. Kept us out of that kind of that bad trade. What we do want to see is the confirmation of bulls being in there, as we saw in HIIQ, right here at about the breakout level, which still gives us an opportunity that if you didn't buy today on the doji type day, still has a potential on a positive open tomorrow, since you got a doji sandwich breaking out of wave 2 going into wave 3. Make this a little bit smaller. All right, so going back to the crude oil evaluation, where it kind of broke out, gapped up today, moving up to higher levels. That allows us as investors to see which sectors are acting better than others, especially when you're in a market like this, where you got one index heading down, another index heading, well, not up, but flat. Which way do you want to go? You want to find something that tells you that you've got something adding to the boost of a price movement or a trend movement. Like we saw in DNR coming out of this fry pan bottom, and notice your best friend gap up. Still a good implication that they're going to take this even higher. Same scenario on CRC. Again, with the, there's a kicker signal, Steve, where they open it here and close it here. They gap it up, and go the opposite direction. So they've actually kicked the investor sentiment in the opposite direction. That was added confirmation that our J-hook pattern was in progress. It needed to stay above the T-line, which it did Friday. Then today, the gap up, your best friend, pretty much tells you you're in wave 3 now, that there should be more upside. So these are just little tidbits, not tidbits, but pieces of evidence that you can put into your analysis of what should happen after a specific candlestick signal. Again, our best friend usually creates a very strong uptrend, like we see our KMT. INNT also had finally a bullish move. Morning, or a bullish engulfing, doji sandwich, a double doji, right here at the 34, still staying above the T-line. Good prospect that this could come back up, at least test this level. And as we have seen in the past, when they pop this one, they can run it for some good strength. So when do you want to buy? When you see the probabilities are in your favor, when you want to get back out, when you see that the selling has started. Right now, it looks like the buying has started. We don't know whether this is going to go here, 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 or here, or tomorrow they open it here. At least we know the probabilities are that there's buyers coming into this one. Cat. INAP, another one that has a kicker signal, has pulled back to the T-line. Now, is this bad? It's not good, but the prospects are still pretty good that if you have a kicker signal and they consolidated, the kicker signal is still in effect, that you should anticipate much more upside. Or be ready to buy this one on the pullback. Now, the lead stocks today, CGC had a nice big left-right combo. Still looks like a J-hook pattern. Unfortunately, Krone also is in kind of this uptrend, but it didn't show any strength today. So with the doji today, it definitely needs to see a positive open and positive trading tomorrow to continue that uptrend. We'd recommended NTR. Again, there's that kicker signal, but now look where you're closing today. Close back below the T-line and basically back below the open of that kicker. That tells you that steam disappeared. You probably want to go on to something else. And PCRX is another one that broke out nicely, consolidating. Now I want to see if this opens positive after that little inverted hammer and see if the uptrend is going. Now, again, the benefit of seeing a doji type day is that we know which direction they'll move it. We're going to move it in the direction of how they open this tomorrow. On the short side, IQ was a very good high probability trade, seeing that they did a bearish engulfing signal here at the 50, closed below the T-line, still trading lower, and they are trading below essentially this support level. Next target is to see if they're going to get down through this level, and I make this smaller. Got kind of you can see kind of a trend channel. So if I do this, you have the prospects of it coming all the way back down into this area. So this is a case where you just want to stay short until you see a buy signal and a close above the T-line. Now notice when they first came down, this is why a while back there was this big discussion about a one white soldier. That's considered what everybody's calling a one white soldier, which is not a reversal signal. and it's got a very basic rationale. If this was some sort of signal, the Japanese race traders after 400 years would have described what this reversal signal is. Now, the logic of this is hard to grasp because it's better than a bullish Harami, because a bullish Harami would have opened and closed below this level, and it's not a bullish engulfing signal. But you would think that if the bullish Harami closed right here, that this would even be stronger closing up here. But apparently it's not. So that's why I keep trying to move people away from thinking that that is a good reversal signal. Now, QSR we recommended going short today, based again upon this bearish engulfing signal that failed here at the 50-day moving average. And notice the type of trade that it did today, or formation. Again, your doji. Makes this very simple. If they open this lower, prospects of it heading down is pretty good. And as you can see, this is a downtrending channel. They could bring it all the way back down into this area. I don't know where these lines come from. Galt was one that didn't get started the other day, but you can see what's happening here. Now you got kind of that little mini J-hook. You still want to buy this one, especially if it comes up through that level, because that would be your classic pattern. The J-hook following a fry pan bottom. So when do you get out of a trade? When it shows that it's not working. So VIPs looked pretty good last week. Then with the fact that after a shooting star they gapped it down and closed below the T-line, that pretty much told you, nah, the bulls aren't there anymore. The bears are in control. Let's see. Did we do Nugget? Nugget kind of running out of steam. And the biggies, like Amazon, didn't do anything spectacular. Let me make this bigger. But it's showing that there's support right here. Would you get ready to buy Amazon? Probably not until it broke this downtrending channel, which kind of coincides with making sure that it closes well above the T-line. Apple, somewhat the same scenario. Nothing yet, but it's showing that it's trying to base right in here. Notice the inverted hammer, the doji. Now it looks like a bullish engulfing signal, and stochastics starting to curl up. Those are all pieces of evidence that they're not selling off after this. They've reached this level, but they're kind of building a base. NVIDIA, same scenario. Right here on the 50-day moving average, they're doing kind of a piercing signal. Wouldn't be a buyer of this one yet until it breaks at least up through the T-line and breaks this downtrending channel. But what the illustration of this should be is that there is buying going on down at those levels. Tesla, nothing wildly exciting except it's staying above the T-line. And Netflix has been acting well. Not anything to get excited about yet, but at least tells you not selling off. This area right in here is probably where you want to get more enthusiastic. If they can break this area, now you got a wave 1, wave 2, going into wave 3. Okay, some of the other charts that look good right now. Hydra, as you can see, did this series of dojis and flat trading right on the 50. Now they told you which way they want to go. Expect something like this. NKTR. There's your bullish kind of doji sandwich after a bullish engulfing. That one you want to take a serious look at on positive trading tomorrow. Again, wave 1, wave 2, and where's the evidence of the buying? Right smack dab on the 50-day moving average. The STM. It was looked a little bit better earlier, but it's still in a basing formation. You want to keep an eye on this one on strength. And CNAT, there was your doji sandwich right at the breakout level. This is why it's important to see where your signals are occurring, what resistance levels you might be looking at. That tells me you hang on to this one until you see a sell signal. And I had some more here. Oh, the gold stocks, all seeming to act well. Here's SA, rounding bottom, gap up. Probably has more upside. ABX, another one that did a gap up through the resistance level, the 50-day moving average. I'd expect more upside here. Now, why gold stocks are moving, I have no idea. But there must be something more going on than what meets the eye right now, because apparently the big money is buying these. Oh, okay, that was one of them where, they were doing a merger. All right. So that might be it, that there might be speculations, there might be some more mergers. There's another little Morningstar cradle-type pattern on Lone Star Resources, another oil stock. SOI, another oil stock that started with a bullish harami right off the 50, and then did kind of a little best friend up through the 200. Likely it's got another move of probably that same magnitude right there. Whiting has come back alive. Another best friend type signal. Should have a lot more upside. And whoops. EC. Where do all these lines come from? Bam. EC doing a J-hook pattern. Should be heading back to the top of the channel. And WTI, another oil stock. Notice where it broke out. Right here at the 50, doing a 45 degrees. So this is why recognizing where the patterns, T-line crunch, bobble breakout, gets you into positions at the right time so that your ultimate timing kicks in, where you're not sitting around waiting for something to happen. CATM. Look at all the dojis right here on the 50, now a bullish confirmation. Those are the type of things that dramatically improve your probabilities. Ironwood Pharmaceuticals, 5 or 6 indecisive doji days, and then a bullish engulfing. And you probably your uptrend is starting back up. Pro is one of the, I think it's one of the trucking companies. Notice how they've gapped up through this level. That's a good fry pan bottom breakout. And EXAS getting right into the breakout territory after a bullish engulfing, kind of a doji sandwich. This one I would suspect wave 1, wave 2, getting ready for wave 3 would be the same magnitude as this one. Yeah, Fro is a big shipper company. ENC, somebody asked about this one today. It was trading as a doji earlier, but now they've bought going into the close. Keep an eye on this one. That's got some upside potential. And Under Armour, look at your big morning star signal, and look where you're sitting right now, right here at the 50. If this goes through the 50, you've probably got a good breakout situation. All right, so with the markets kind of iffy, not iffy, but not in a solid uptrend where one index is heading up while another index is heading down, still want to have some short positions in the portfolio. PRMB, look at the doji shooting star gap down targets right here. Now, whenever I see something like this, probably picking a point like right here and that point up there, you were bounced right off the 34 today. But if they take this down, these also become potential targets to watch to see what happens once they get to those levels. Century Aluminum. This is what you call an island or a column reversal. Big up day, doji, big down day. Look for this to come back down into the trend. That's a failure. And ZAG, look how they couldn't get up through the 50 when this one failed. There could be a lot more downside for this one. Hoya, bearish engulfing, downtrend, gap down through the support level. This one you can definitely be shorting on weakness tomorrow. EPLO, big failure right here at the 50. Making the potential of coming back down into this trend trajectory fairly likely. ENTA, bearish engulfing right at the 50. Now looks like it's broken down through that support level. Look for weakness on this one. Hey, how come my charts are so big today? Smaller. Make it a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 failure. And ZTO, another one that's done a doji, big gap down, kind of through that level. That could take you into heading down here. So there's still lots of good long and short positions out there right now that makes sense. So going to definitely look at IDRA tomorrow on positive trading. And NKTR, also very viable buy on positive trading tomorrow. All right. Whatever you want to do, Steve. Buying puts is just a method of shorting a stock. So if you like shorting stocks, you can do that. If you like buying puts, that's what you do. All right, that's about all I've got. Do we have any general questions on candlesticks? I think we're going to still see some consolidation on the Dow, but the NASDAQ telling us that we're still in this very slow, steady uptrend. John, not to me. Now, obviously, they act as support if you're in an uptrend, but a lot of people say, well, we shouldn't be buying, or should we be buying if it's trading below the 50 or the 200? Remember what the number one criteria is for the signals. And that is, the signal is the number one criteria. Everything else is just kind of a confirming indicator. You have separate chat talk on oil futures or futures in general. Steve over in the options room, Jeff over in the options room is where we'll usually discuss those. So the option room and is also the futures room. I don't trade Schlumberger or Halliburton per se, because they're just slower moving. I'd rather trade something that has a little bit more activity to them. Something like this has got the potential of creating a 15, 20, 30% upside, whereas go to Halliburton. Halliburton might have a 4% or 6%. So if you're trading the big ones like Halliburton and Schlumberger, those type of things, it's probably should be doing it more on the option basis. Russell 2000, as you can see, is just kind of consolidating back here at the T-line, or at the 50 area. Nothing telling you there's any great selling pressure, yet no great buying pressure. That is an evening star, yes. So that's, if it opens lower tomorrow, we can pretty much estimate where our first target's going to be, back to test the T-line. Oh, Jimmy, when you see a buy signal, it's telling you there's been a reversal. Find something that's... even that one, I'm trying to find something that's got a distinct buy signal. If the buy signal or the sell signal is based upon, we know what's happening right there at that point, that there's been a reversal. How long is that reversal going to last? That now becomes our other additional evaluation of, is it staying below the T-line? Is it, how far away are we till we get to the oversold area? So once you see a reversal signal, that reversal signal can last months, depending on the time frame you're looking at. Given the recent exuberance and subsequent selling, how can we be sure this is not something bigger, or we just don't? Well, no, the only place you were kind of anticipating there might be exuberance is over here in the Dow. However, remember, the Dow is not the market. You've also got the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, the transportation index. So if I see the Dow shooting up and the NASDAQ moving sideways, what's that tell us about our overall enthusiasm in the market? It's just in specific sectors and not necessarily the whole market. And so the Qs, as you can see, there's not any exuberance in this market right now. Diana, yes. And That's what you should be able to analyze or should be able to utilize the signals for whatever you're trading. Now, I never trade things like Microsoft because it's such a slow mover percentage-wise. But still seeing the signals allows somebody that if they're following it or trading it, now you just figure out what option strategies you apply to that, which is what we're going to be doing here in the next week or so, starting on the correct option strategies for the correct trade signal. How can I get a full year subscription versus month to month? Robert, if you can't find it, just email Abraham at candlestickforum.com. He'll get you set up. Oh, RP, you're going to have to ask Abe that also. See if there's I see that, Joe. I don't know what's wrong with Pittsburgh this year. So. John, we can do that anytime. Just now getting into the cold weather, so we're probably going to have at least one, if not two, sessions on different topics each week. And WTE, too late to get in. All right, WTI. Probably not. You just have to be, obviously here was the best place to get in. So, if you're getting in, just have to be a little bit more attentive, I guess is the right word. So if I was buying on positive trading tomorrow, I'd definitely have a safety stop set at today's open, just because we're getting up in the overbought area. BB, that's up to each individual too. Now, very rarely will, there are some markets like in the middle of the summer when nothing's happening and nothing's happening anywhere. I might have 20 or 30% of my money sitting in cash for a few days. But because of the simple scanning techniques that are that you can use with candlesticks, there is not a time, as we saw tonight, even with the market moving on the Dow down big and the NASDAQ up slightly, there's still a good 4, 5, 6 stocks that are excellent buys, and there's still 4, 5, 6 shorts that are excellent shorts. That's obviously a short is a short. So at any given time in the market with 10,000 trading entities, the candlestick scanning will find more trades than I'll ever be able to handle. So I would say that probably 95% of the time or greater, I'm 100% invested. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm 100% long, 100% short. I might be 70% long, 30% short, or vice versa. CB, just use whatever trading technique works for you. All we're doing with candlestick analysis is showing you where you should be applying those techniques. Get all these lines out. Okay, Jim, let's go ahead and do the double line. And in 4.2 seconds, do the next double line. ECYT. You can get ready to buy this one. Notice all the series of dojis right here on the 50. If you're buying this one, don't let it close back below the T-line. Tyson Foods, yes, good short chart. He's bigger. Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid now. Notice your stochastics aren't near the oversold area yet. I would suspect you're heading for the first target, this support level. SCS. This one would be a toughie, but with that big gap up, expect a 45 degree, but as a safety factor, I wouldn't want to see it trade at all back below the low of that first day. AWSM backed off today, and it backed off toward the lower end of the candle of Friday. This is a perfect example that if you've gone from 7 or broke out and it went all the way up to 2250, I would definitely have kicked into my 10-minute chart. Let's kick into our 10-minute chart. Moved like this, moved like this. Once it got up here, I would have probably been back out here. If I got back in over here, I would have been back out here. So, anyways, just logic says if something's good happening, it's going to continue higher. If it starts backing off, obviously people are taking profits. Apple just kind of basing right now. You can buy this on positive trading. And yeah, look for wave 3 to start on positive trading. OGEN. You have your fry pan bottom. What you don't want to see is it backing off. You want to see this open positive and trade positive. And I don't think this one comes up over here. Nope. AUPH. It's a toughie to trade. I wouldn't pay attention to it until it broke out. Cassie, if you're short, get ready. I'd put a buy stop just above today's high, back up above the T line. Where do all these lines come from? I'm not putting them on here. All you can do on this one, TRXC, is stay long. That's a toughie. Yes, I'd be ready to go short if it came down through the lows. Again, a failure here at the 50. And Micron, that's a toughie too. You're in a downtrend. It's trying to come up, but you came down below the T-line. If you stayed long, which would have been tough to do, it has to open positive tomorrow. If it opens lower, you're still in this downward drift. SPLK. If you're short, you stay short. It's trying to do some bottoming. A couple green candles here. So definitely have your stop just above the, or probably even at this point, if it opened positive tomorrow and I was short, I'd probably cover the short position. VRS, that's a good looking chart. It needs to open positive and start going after it. DDD, nothing of any great consequence here. Nothing to kind of hang your hat on. Still in the basing mode. I'd want to see some more strength before doing anything with that. Target, same scenario. Wouldn't be long or short this one right now. NVIDIA, we did. It's trying to base, but I wouldn't do anything with this until they showed enough strength to get it closed above the T-line. CDMO, you can be buying this one on positive trading. Just don't let it close back below the T-line. DNR, we did. This one still probably got some more upside after the best friend breakout of a J-hook pattern. And XBIO. That's a toughie to trade. Here's another one that when it got this far up above the T-line and we're right about there, I would have definitely just flipped to my 10-minute chart. Now, if you stayed long, you definitely want to see this open positive tomorrow. If it opens lower, you probably want to come out and wait for the next buy signal. I think we did ECYT, right? Yes. You ready to buy this one on strength? Western Digital. You can stay long, but it needs to stay above the T-line. NVTA. Stay long, but this one you want to see it open positive. If it opens lower, you've lost some steam on this one. Home Depot. You can, if you want to short this one, you can short it, but it's one of those where your percentage move isn't going to be very big. So obviously an option trade, an option put. Car Gurus. You can buy this one. If I was buying, I'd definitely watch to see what it was doing right here to make sure it could get up through that level. ITUS, this is what you call, it's not quite a meeting line. It's close enough. If it opens lower tomorrow, I'd take some profits with the anticipation it is coming back to test the T-line. Jern, nice little cradle type pattern. Get ready to buy this, not a cradle, but a scoop type pattern. You can buy this one on strength, J-hook. Dollar General. Get ready to short this one. Look for it. If it opens lower tomorrow after your bearish left-right combo, I would suspect right here at the 50 is your next target. Travelers, that's showing you kind of a failure at the 200. If it opens lower, I would definitely be out of longs. I'd wait to see if it closes back below the T-line to see if it's going to turn into a short. GNRC, got a wedge formation setting up here. If it opens lower and you're long, you get out of it right away. If you're looking to buy, you want to see it show some strength to the upside. IQV, right here at the breakout level with a doji sandwich. You can get ready to buy this one going into wave 3. Spot. Nothing here yet. That's just not a good looking chart. It's trying to come back up. You can be buying it if you like, but it's got a lot of, it doesn't have a lot of energy in it. And Shopify, that one needed to stay above the T-line. You stay long as it stays above the T-line. We did Netflix. AMD, you can buy this one on positive trading. J-hook trying to set up. Facebook, Facebook is just not a good trader. I don't think it's a good trader. If you like it, you can buy it on positive trading, but then you got to watch to see if it can get through this downtrending resistance level. We did IQV. Oh, I'm going backwards. We did Facebook. Still going backwards. Zynga. Nothing. Wouldn't be long or short. Can't be short on this stock. Roku. Roku, just stay long. Where the heck do all these lines come from? Mercy sakes. And TLRY still selling off. Notice where it's moved from. Yeesh. 300 back to 100 in just a couple of days. I know a couple of the guys in the options room had bought puts on this. So, anyways, that one is probably moved out of the aggressive trading range. CGC, still a good one to be going after on positive trading. Caterpillar. Notice when they gapped it up, if you're in the overbought area and they gap it up, what's the first thing you start doing? Watching for selling. I would have closed this one out with the idea that it's now coming back to test either the T line or the 200. DK. Nothing yet. If I had been short, I would have covered the short position. I wouldn't be going long just yet. Not until they can show that the bull's taking control. And Sotheby's, you can short this one. The failure right there at the 50. Wave 1, wave 2, going into wave 3. Alcoa, nothing wildly exciting on Alcoa right now. You can see it's stuck sideways. Did a little kicker type signal. So, I just wouldn't be long or short. If anything, if it shows weakness, you could be going short, but you got to realize you're probably still in this sideways channel. Yeah, I saw that, Bob. That was just to make you want to kick your grandmother. JP Morgan, probably coming back to test the 50. I'm sorry, test the T line, then maybe the 50. What is the implication of a meeting line? It's bearish. If one candle is up and the next candle opens positive and comes down and closes at where that previous candle closed, that's telling you the bears are starting to take control. We did Hydra, we did INNT, AMRN. That one's a toughie. Look for a 45 degree. Just don't let it close back below the open. And Enron Oil and Gas, yes, you can go long on this one. PRHC, you can start buying this one on positive trading. Excuse me. Morningstar signal off the 34. If they start buying this one, you got the prospects of another wave 3. And GKOS, nothing yet. You need to see bullish confirmation. AMED, this one I'd be more apt to buy. on positive trading. First, want to see what it does up here. Where are these lines coming from? So once it gets up here, you wait see whether it breaks through or not. XLF. This one you should be out of. And they gapped this one up and then brought it right back down. The fact that they closed this below the T-line and the halfway point of that candle told you there's nothing there anymore. BK, Bank of New York. Again, a failure right in this area with an evening star signal. You should have been out of this one today. No direction on this one. Short. You could go short, but you got to watch to see if you're in a wedge formation. You might not have that big a price move. Between exuberant buying and a breakout is usually a breakout. You can see something that told you they broke out. For example, this breakout, you can see was a J-hook pattern breakout. Whereas in the Dow, it wasn't really breaking out anywhere. It was just traveling up pretty strong. So there wasn't anything that you saw it breaking out other than way down here, and then that was the move. That was the exuberant move up there. Labu, nothing yet. Just sideways. Yes, you trying to think of something. Oh, we just looked at one. So is this a breakout or is this exuberance? Well, that becomes a lot easier to assess based upon the fact that this was a doji. Telling you there was indecision at this level. I'm trying to think of one that I'm sure we looked at one just. I can't remember. All right. Well, it's going to be important to see how they open this market tomorrow. No, it's not. I'm guessing they'll open the Dow lower and the NASDAQ flat. TLRY. Yeah, now that's exuberance. Make it even bigger. You can see the fry pan bottom. You can see up here where you are compared to the T-line. That's where you go to your 10-minute chart. Then notice what type of signal this is. A long-legged doji. And what's our simple rule of a doji? It's going to move in the direction of how they open after a doji. So that's where you can tell when this is exuberance. Again, big move, usually big volume, away from the T-line. Then you have a candlestick reversal signal. Weibo, yeah, if it opens lower, you can buy puts because you're probably going to the bottom of the trend channel. Well, you're not in the oversold area just yet, I don't think. Yeah, you're not in the oversold area. That's just a doji. The casting's still heading down. All right, everybody. Still lots of good trades out there. So with that, now you can go watch the Steelers game. All right, everybody, we'll see you bright and early in the morning.